Age-old question: how to make money in crypto? Most people probably search for it. Still, most people don't know how to do it. I'm going to kind of go through my process, how I do it. This allows me to take cash out of crypto every single week for my daily expenses and daily life living and stuff like that. However, obviously, I don't take out 100% of it. I do reinvest and stuff like that. But this is just showing you my actual process. There's not a magic secret somewhere for people to do. It's simple, straightforward. So in this, what we're doing is we're looking at obviously Sonic tokens, but before that, looking at the market gives you a general idea of what's happening. No one really knows what's happening. Today is probably Friday. It's a big day with what's happening in the White House. But as I said, we can go up, we can go down, whatever. We just position ourselves right. But with this in mind, what we're going to be doing is going over to Silo Finance, and this is my exact process of how I make money in crypto. So I have S tokens, have stable coins, have a load of different tokens here that are actually listed on this now, which is brilliant. But what I want to do is I want to borrow stablecoins. I don't want to be selling my Sonic tokens. I don't want to be selling any of my crypto. I want to be using borrowed assets basically to make yield and make an income. So I know, who was it, Robert Kiyosaki said it, rich dad, poor dad thing is use debt to your advantage. There is no difference in crypto. Use the debt to your advantage. And at this moment in time, it's paying well to be in debt on using Sonic. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this position. Now again, the reason I'm getting into this is because I want to get to the stable coins. So again, I'd have to deposit into this position here to get the stable coins, but I don't want to pay 10% APR for borrowing. Happily pay 6%. So what I'm going to do is deposit my S tokens in here, which is going to give me 8x my Sonic points, obviously for the big Sonic airdrop, and it's also going to give me one Silo point per dollar per day. Again, Silo, we don't know what it's going to be worth down the road. Hey, happy to get it for whatever reason I can. That's perfect. With that in mind, then we're going to come along here and we're going to borrow again. Get an additional one Silo point for every dollar I borrow. So again, if you borrow 1,000, you're going to get 1,000 points extra per day, and I'm paying 6.7% per APR on this loan. Big thing to remember here is make sure you don't go into a position and you're not getting higher than 6.7% because it's going to wreck you otherwise. But with that in mind, what we're next going to do then is we're going to go for the shadow. And the reason for this is over here. DeFi Llama has Shadow Exchange ranked in top 4 here for revenue. Is it? Yeah, revenue over the last 7 days. You can see here 1.5 million. Just to bring it into comparison, you can see here our TVL. TVL is way down in comparison to everything else. So there's a massive opportunity here again for Shadow to pump, and I personally think it will pump at some stage again once the markets kind of settle out and correct and we start seeing a bit of momentum again around Sonic token. You can see here we reached a high of $214, and it has been doing good since then, and it's dropped off since then, which is always going to happen. You have a pump up like this, on retrace. Hopefully we potentially seen the end of the retrace and maybe it'll level out around here, and before it continue, like, might start doing something like this maybe, then continue its journey back up again. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. So what I'm going to do is get myself into position here now and be ready for basically when everything does start again. So remember, I've borrowed my SCUSD 6.7%. Let's assume in this instance we borrowed maybe 1,000. Let's assume we borrowed $2,000 worth of SCUSD. Again, we still hold our S tokens here, which is perfect, and we still have the borrowed assets. We jump over here. I have two options, and again, I like trying to get as much money, earn as much money as possible here in this situation. So you have two options. You can buy your shadow token, like I mentioned over here. You can buy it now, and you can then literally use that and lock it to X shadow and use it for voting and sit back on the voting. However, remember, when you lock your shadow to X shadow, basically locked for like a period of time. You can unlock it whenever you want to, but you only get a certain percentage. So after 188 days of investing out, you can convert your X shadow to shadow and sell it. If you want to sell your X shadow right here, it means you're going to lose 50% of it straight away as a penalty. So that is something just to bear in mind here. So option one here is we lock our shadow. From there, you can go off and you can vote. Now, APRs are not going to be high at the moment because we're still in the early stages of the week, the next epoch, which is every 7 days. But just keep in mind, these are roughly up around 70, 80, 90. See here on the different positions, gives you an idea. So just assume this one, S&S Shadow, give me $11 in reward from this. Again, these are going to be higher as the time gets closer. As I said, I was earning roughly $150 to $200 only a week ago on this, and I was using this money, putting half of it into repaying my loan back, and using the other half for myself. And instead, I've doing this on a few different wallets, and it was generating me probably. I was able to withdraw maybe $300 or $400 a week, and that's perfect. I'm delighted with that. That's like most places. That's like a good chunk of weekly wage for I was earning from here. You know, it's a simple enough process. Also, what you can do is go into liquidity. So when you add your, again, assuming we've borrowed our 2 grand and we go into a position here. So let's assume we take a position out in SUSDC, or we even go into a stablecoin position. And obviously the APRs are going to be a bit lower and the process is a bit slower. So again, we can get roughly 19% for in this range. It's not enough for what you're wanting to do. Now again, there's nothing wrong with earning 19% on 2 grand. You could use the reward every day to basically chip away at your loan. It's a slower process. However, what I like to do is put it into some of the bigger plays. So again, we have SUSDC here. We can jump into this with our 2000. We can set a 15% range. High enough. So if we convert that, you can see here 44 cent and 60 cent. To drop that if we wanted it. If we think the markets are going to be a little bit more in around this range for a while more, now we can get 745% or 48%. No, that's massive. Now, with this in mind, what's going to earn is going to earn us our X shadow. Use that X shadow, lock it in, use it for voting. We have access straight away to our USDC, and we just keep farming the X shadow position. So like there's two areas there in use. So at 748%, roughly $40 a day X shadow. With that X shadow, if you decide to sell, you can sell. If not, you compound it into this to get the daily yield or get the weekly yield, start generating a little bit of cash. And said, it is probably one of the best ways to play this system at this moment in time, especially when prices are down. It is definitely the best way. How many people probably watching this would have jumped in, or probably jumped in up here, and the highs and are down massively now. So you want to be looking at them now and trying to get in around the lowers. Obviously, who wouldn't get in at they say 70-80%, nearly 60 something percent of a reduction on the price? Everyone would. So look, that's pretty much it. Through liquidity, through voting, you're earning with your borrowed money. You pay your borrowed money back after 2 or 3, 4 or 5 weeks. You have this 2000 that's been paid back. Lo and behold, you still own these positions. Not only have your liquidity position, which is probably around 2000, give or take, hopefully if you stayed in range, and you also build out a position here now, X shadow, hopefully is maybe $500, $600, $700. With that, then it allows you to literally just keep compounding and growing and growing and earning yield. And you can see here roughly the yields that these ones are getting. Like, they're very small positions, but again, it gives you an idea of the earnings you can get. So look, hopefully that helps you understand. Hopefully it helps you understand how to make money with crypto. And yeah, look, we're going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching.